What is up, folks? Welcome to the latest episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. This is season three. I'm your gracious host, as always, Harold McBasketball, along with my co-host, I Know Ball, Paul, live from France. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I guess it is season three. Our biannual episode. We haven't been rolling them out, but we both found it in ourselves to do an episode. So here we are, and I'm excited. I love filming the episodes, and it's a draft episode. Uh, a redraft, or I guess it's more me showing my big board. I posted it on Reddit. People were very semantical. They said it's not a redraft. They haven't even played any games yet. It's a big board. I was like, fuck you guys. And I got torn apart for multiple reasons. But anyway, yeah, this is the draft episode, kind of reacting to the draft. And I've been doing a lot of research, kind of determining my picks. Harry, you've been doing a bit of research.
Hardly any at all. We're doing a little role reversal this year where Paul has been promoted to our draft specialist now. So I will kind of be here for vibes. I will react. I've got my own little list here, but
Is that a
certainly Paul's gonna be our expert here, and I'll just kind of I'll riff off of it. I'll rank them by aura, name value, all that fun stuff. But Paul will be driving, so maybe you should have done the intro this time. Who knows?
is that a role reversal? Am I usually the riff guy and you're the expert?
For drafts, usually I've got like my big draft big board, and I feel like usually I do the draft analysis. Not overall, certainly, but I feel like usually for drafts, I usually at least do more research than I have this year.
Yeah, fair enough. And to kind of backpack off of that, like I did not watch any of these guys in college. I don't really watch college basketball. I get super into summer league. But yeah, just to kind of say that this is all within like the past couple months since basically the draft that I've learned who these players are. And I've kind of been just going in on numbers, on Apple numbers, and just like plugging in all their stats, weighing in a bunch of different things. I'm weighing their age, their usage. I'm looking at their free throw percentages, their 3 point. What else am I looking at? Kind of did a league difficulty, compared them within their positions. Like I kind of went in, and I'm very aware that it's very subjective. There's a lot of subjectiveness. I'm calculating kind of like a fantasy score, a base fantasy score, and then I weigh all these other things. Um, and that kind of gave me a baseline, and then I start looking at the highlights, and then I kind of move things around based on vibes.
That's a good plan. Can I go first? Because I feel like 1-1 is all I've got, and then it's you from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about 1-1.
I have Flag. Who do you have?
Yeah, Cooper
All
Flag.
right.
And looking at the numbers, it's like, God damn, this kid is generational. Again, yeah, all my research here is really just based on their last season of basketball. And Cooper Flagg is the youngest player in this draft. I think he's like the youngest player to be drafted since LeBron. And even with that aside, like his stats are out of this world. He's like efficient. He's the just prototypical like tall athletic wing. Yeah, this kid's a superstar. I'm so confident.
Yeah, I really like Flag. Flag is like he's a big just eyeball test guy where it's like when you watch the game, it's kind of ridiculous how he looks out there. Like I did watch a bunch of Duke this year just 'cause it was pretty tough to not watch them. They felt like must see TV with Flag and Knuepplel. They were awesome. But yeah, he's just like so tall and long. Like that's such like just like a unique build, and then with this awesome fluidity, really nice looking jump shot, really high release, really fast release. So he's just like such like a prototypical stretch four big man. Like he's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be so good. He's really just like the prototypical stretch four. So nice ball handling, nice passing, just like a does it all kind of guy. No holes in his game. Pretty good on defense as well. Athletic. Like the dude just has it all. This is like a super easy 1-1. Um, Probably one of like the easiest consensus picks. In a minute, obviously like, if he was in the same draft as Wemby, he's maybe going number two, but he definitely feels like, a huge lock for first overall.
Yeah, no, the distance between him and number two, I think, is significant. And even Wemby, I mean, we hadn't seen someone of his, build variety, and people weren't so sure what to make of it. And very quickly we found out, okay, this guy is beyond our scope of what a basketball player can be. But heading into the draft, yeah, I think Cooper Flagg is as obvious of a number one pick as we've seen. I think even since Wemby, since maybe I don't know, since maybe ever, in my opinion. He's and plugging in other guys. He in my fantasy score kind of Wade system, he's on top of everyone. He's on top of Wemby. I didn't throw in so many different players, but he's like at the top by
Yeah.
a margin.
Yeah, and it helps that there's feels like there's like a pretty big distance between like him and who could be second. Because even when I was doing my little list here, I feel like there was like a couple guys who was like debating for number two. Like I feel like number two isn't a lock. Obviously, Dylan Harper ended up going there, but I think there's an argument for at least like one or two other players to go second overall. So we know Flagg's a lock. We know he's gonna be awesome. Hate that he went to the Mavericks. They did not deserve that. That was total bullshit. But he's gonna be awesome there, and I'm sure Dallas will love him the way they loved Luca. I think where things get a little more interesting here is at the second pick. I'm curious to know who you had, because I think there's an argument to be made that like maybe it shouldn't be Harper.
I don't have an argument to say it shouldn't be Harper. For me, he's a lock at number two. I think there's a distance between him and Coop for the between one and two, and I think there is kind of a distance between him and the next best guy, just based on my statistics.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he looks awesome. He's efficient. He's a tall guard. He's kind of Cade Cunningham-esque. And yeah, the numbers look awesome. Everything I did is like per 30. And he's, 18 points, nearly four assists, four rebounds. He's got 1.3 steals. Um, and he is, let's see how old he is. He's 19 and a half. So he's yeah, with weighing that, his efficiency is great. For me, he was kind of a lock for number two.
Are we worried about the shooting? The jump shot looks shaky at times.
Yeah, he was a 33% three-point shooter, which, I mean, that's pretty good as a guy with as high of usage. I agree it does look shaky, but 33% I think is not anything to worry about. You just kind of hope that it goes up. Um, but yeah, I guess that is a fair point. But
He's a prospect. He doesn't need to be done right now. That's just if you're to poke holes in his game. That's really the only one. It's like other than that, he's got everything. Big guard, nice handle. Seems like he's gonna be an immediate free throw merchant. Like I think I'm gonna learn to hate this guy pretty quickly. So nice to enjoy him early on in like summer league because yeah, he's gonna be super annoying. Like he's just like very crafty, classic kind of like herky jerky guy. Really nice size, crafty finisher. Like finishes really well with both hands. So yeah, no, I think he's gonna be a good player as well. The jump shot like is a little like it'll probably come along, but that did like open up the door a little bit for me to like consider other guys over him. I'm not like super strong in my rankings, but I'm like, I don't know, I kind of love Ace Bailey. Hopefully he's next on your ranking because I really want to talk about him. Maybe he's not, but I think I would probably have Ace in the conversation, at least his teammate.
that's fair enough. And yeah, and the free throw shooting, I guess, is not it's at 75%. So it's not, sometimes you've got the kind of average three-point shooting, and then you see, okay, that he shoots 85%. That's kind of promising. But the 75% makes you think, okay, maybe the 33% is what's a little bit more inflated. And that could drop down in his first year and he might be hovering around 30%.
Yeah, we'll see. I kind of think he's gonna be such a big free throw merchant that I think it's gonna go up. Like I feel like that's just the new meta, and I his play style is very curated for it. So I feel like the free throws will go up. The 3-point shooting, we'll see. It might not even have to get that good for him to be an elite player. So we'll see. I do still really like him. I love him, but I'm always just like a little intrigued by potential two-way stretch forwards who can handle the ball. But I don't know. Who do you have at three? I don't want to jump the gun on Ace Bailey if he's not your third.
Ace Bailey is my third, and I think
All right, my boy. Let's go. The Rutgers guys, 2-3.
yeah, and I mean, kind of like you said, I think it's just the build, it's the eye test. You see this, you see the Tatum in him, you see kind of maybe the Paolo of this 6'9", 6'10". I don't know what he was listed at, but he's huge and he handles the ball and shoots the ball with such fluidity and he's athletic and he's kind of got more of that like rebounding, shot blocking aspect to his game. Um, yeah, for me, Bailey, I like it number three. And actually, I would say that he's kind of a lock too. I think my one, two, and three, I'm fairly happy with at one, two, and three.
Were you surprised to see Ace Bailey fall in the draft?
I guess I didn't really have any expectations going into the draft, so when he was drafted, I didn't have like an immediate reaction. But yes, maybe a bit of a spoiler. I am shocked that someone like VJ Edgecombe or Kon Knuepplel would go Ace Bailey.
Yeah,
To me, it's
yeah, I
shocking
agree.
because yeah, without spoiling my rankings, those guys did drop a little bit. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Ace Bailey just the moment I opened up his highlights, and then I think the numbers kind of backed him up pretty well. Um, there are little, his free throw shooting is only at 70%. He's a 35% three-point shooter. Um, but he's 19 years old, I think, as of today. He's super young. And yeah, he just looks great. And his stats really do reflect Tatum's freshman year stats at Duke. They're extremely similar, so I think he could be a forward like Tatum. With slight variations. I think obviously Tatum is special, especially with the handle, the shot making. But yeah, Bailey looks to be fantastic, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Bailey looks like he's going to be a really talented scorer. I think like the slight concerns when on draft night were like, yeah, he kind of gets tunnel vision. Some days turns over the ball a little more than he should. That's fine. He's 19. But like the scoring is just like so ridiculous at his size and his fluidity. And it's like, yeah, he does kind of look Tatum-y, like even like smaller like Kevin Durant-y. Obviously, those are lofty comparisons. Like I don't think he'll, be that good, but he looked awesome. And like I think the only reason he fell in the draft was because he was essentially saying draft night there were like potentially certain teams he didn't want to go to because he wanted to essentially find the right landing spot for himself that wouldn't screw up his career from an early spot. And then Utah was just like, fuck you, we're drafting you anyway, which is awesome by Danny Ainge. And I can't believe that the other GMs didn't do it. It's like, yeah, sorry, you don't want to be here. Like, I think you're the best prospect on the board, and if I draft you, you have to play here. Like, get over it. And then that's what Utah did. They drafted him, and Ace was like, okay, like I guess I'm gonna play here now. So I'm surprised the other GMs essentially fell for his trick, um, because yeah, they really didn't have to. And I think that's essentially the only reason he fell because I think he clearly was the better prospect than Knuepplel and Edgecombe.
Yeah, I don't even know what the play was, who he was trying to say he w wasn't wanting to play for. I mean, it was a brutal miscommunication, and I think, some of the fault is on him. You don't say that, but then I don't know if his agent let something slip or
It was a weird power play, and like apparently his agent, like he's not like a big time agent, like it's not like he works for Clutch or anything. Apparently his agent like only works with Ace Bailey. He's like, I don't know how he ended up being his agent, but like the agent like fucked up pretty bad, and then even like falling a couple spots in the draft, like it is like a couple $1 million you're losing out on.
that's
So I
yeah,
guess
that's
the bet was by falling that like maybe he's more likely to find a spot that gets him a good long-term deal, but I mean like in reality it's like I don't see a huge difference between being drafted by like all the lottery teams are going to afford you a lot of playing time, a big role. So it doesn't totally matter. It's like why would you make yourself look bad? Like just be excited on draft night like I don't know. And it's like I think I heard they were trying to make a play for him to go to like the Wizards or something like that, but it's like I don't know. It's like why would you want to go to the Wizards? Like they also suck.
yeah.
So it was kind of a mess. It seemed like it was really poorly played by the agent. Um, and yeah, maybe Ace Bailey shouldn't have him as an agent. Is kind of like the final analysis that I heard from around the league
Yeah,
from
no.
my sources.
It's a weird story. But yeah. I think Utah is a decent place to end up. Obviously, maybe in terms of the city. I mean, I think Salt Lake City is nice, but it is kind
Yeah,
of out there. But as far as the team, yeah, he's going to get all the opportunity there. I think they're rebuilding. Um, and yeah, no, I would be happy to play for that team. And if it was about playing time, I think Utah is a great fit for him.
yeah, and like Utah tanked really hard to try to get the number one pick. Like they were trying so hard to get Flagg. So like Bailey at 5 is a pretty nice consolation prize. And then, although like maybe it's not where Bailey wanted to go, honestly, it's a really good landing spot. Like he's got no competition at the small forward position, and they gets played like two pretty nice young players in like Markkanen and Walker Kessler. Obviously Markkanen is like not like the youngest player in the world now, but that's still like kind of a nice team to have around you. Like you're not going to like a totally desolate franchise. You know it's run well with Ainge there. Their
Harvey.
coach Hardy is awesome. Like it's actually like a pretty nice landing spot. It's like a little bit of an obscure city, but I I think it's like pretty good for him as far as like his other options were in the lottery. At least like that high up.
Yeah. Yeah. And Cal Filipowski, by the way, unreal summer league. I think
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
the
oh yeah.
best player of any summer league player. And I loved him. And even in last year's draft video,
We talked about him.
I didn't have a super hot take, but I'm like, damn, I think this guy should have gone a bit earlier. He was kind of on the younger end of sophomores, and he had amazing stats at Duke. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and Duke.
he's a player. He's a player.
Yeah, I think we both had him like end of lottery, ended up going in the second round or close to the second round. And it was just like the weird story about him like possibly being groomed or something like that. That
Yeah.
was like partially why I fell in the draft, but I think it was partially just because, teams didn't really know what to expect out of him. Like, was he good enough to play center? Was he more of just like a shooter and like not good enough at the actual position? Like people couldn't really figure out what he was, but yeah, he looked awesome. So like we were kind of vindicated in our ranking of him from last year.
Yeah, Utah just gets all the players that tank their stocks with weird storylines, and they just get them at a good price, I guess.
Totally, totally. It's a good way to do it.
All right, number four for me is where it gets a little bit weird and wild, and I
Is this where your boy Yang comes in?
this is where
Are we
my
getting to him already?
yeah
Yeah, no wonder Reddit flamed you.
yeah Reddit blamed me. You could probably do some detective work and find my post, and yeah, there's probably like 70 comments. Uh, I think a dislike ratio that's not very good.
Oof.
But it kind of, it was kind of a pre-launch for this video. I kind of made some adjustments, but one adjustment I did not make was, I think, actually, I might have had him at 3, and now he's at 4. Anyway, I think Yang Hansen is like the steal of the draft. There's a couple other players that moved wildly on my draft board, but yeah, I don't see how he goes 16. I think his biggest weakness is that he's from China, doesn't speak the language. There's like a huge cultural adjustment. But in terms of just what he's clearly capable of, the fact he was playing in a pro league, granted the Chinese pro league, I don't think is on the level of the European ones. There's some weird stuff going on over there with like, I think Kenny Lofton was like the MVP of that league.
Love Kenny Lofton.
Yeah, their play style is a bit weird. I think it is kind of ISO heavy, and regardless, Yang I think led the league in blocks, and he just kind of shows I think that he's a ridiculously talented player, and he's 20 years old, and I love him, and I love when we get like a Chinese player and like the entire nation is just behind them. The hype is so real, and I believe I'm on the Yang Hansen wave.
I love him. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I will say it's like 4 feels a little reactionary, perhaps, because obviously everyone got like really hyped on him after the draft. Like, um, because what the Blazers took him at 16.
Yeah.
And like originally he was projected to be like a second rounder or something. So like in theory, it's like the Blazers are already reaching a ton to take him at 16. You're saying that even that reach is not enough of a reach, and all these scouts are stupid and take him at 4, which could have been true. It's definitely like one of those picks that's like it'll be like a total coin flip, where it's like if he can keep up with the league, he could be really good because his skill set is very tantalizing. Like he's very smooth in the low post. Like he's got this like nice little spin move. He's got a little bit of passing. The jump shot's not there yet, but like it looks like the touch has potential. He gets blocks. He's like really smart in the paint, kind of like I don't know, just like a lot of other like big rim roamers we have in the league, but with a little bit of offensive touch, which is like kind of rare to have both, be able to be like a shot blocker and have touch at the rim on the other side. So that is all interesting. He is also super slow. So he may just end up sucking and getting run off the court. That's kind of like we'll see.
I don't
It's like
think he
will he
looks that
be
slow. I think he looks pretty athletic. He's ripped out of his mind. He's 7'1", and I think he runs up and down the court like I don't know, like most like 6'10", 6'11" guys. I don't think he looks particularly slow, and the footwork is excellent.
I think he looks a little slow. I think he's a little, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like I'm just saying, he's not gonna be a premier athlete out there. Like as far as like the center position goes, like he's gonna be closer to like the Jokic, like Zach Edey speed of play than like some of the more hyper athletic centers we see in the league, which is the majority of centers now. Most centers are like pretty hyper athletic at this point. So regardless, like even if you don't think he's like the slowest guy in the world, he's probably still gonna be the slowest guy in the court, like at most times. Um, as long as like Georges Niang isn't on the court, it'll probably be him. But that might be fine though, because he's big and he's smart on defense. Like he knows like the right place to be. So it's not like you need him to get like a chase down block from like the 3 point line. You kind of just need him to like know where he is in the paint, get to the right spot when somebody's driving or cutting, make a play there. The concern though is if he gets stuck on an island with like Jalen Brunson out there, it's like he's just gonna get cooked out of his mind. There's no chance he can guard guards on the perimeter, so you might have to hide him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's in the ED Jokic category, but I do agree that with how athletic centers are, that he is not on the super fast side. But yeah, just some of his stats. All the stats I'm saying are per 30. I did everyone per 30. But yeah, 15 points, nearly 3 assists, 10 rebounds, a steal, nearly 2.5 blocks. And that's in a pro league. That's against grown men at age 20. And for me, that's with the asterisks, but I think playing
Caveat.
CBA is more impressive than playing um, for Duke. I think I maybe, or maybe they're close.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I don't have a take on that.
Yeah, I think the play styles are kind of different. But man, I don't know. The numbers check out. I weighed in the fact um, that the league was a bit worse, even though I'm not sure if that's true. I tried to weigh in that his league fit might not be as good, and the numbers proved true. Uh,
Mhm.
and I think the eye test looks good. I think he looked good in summer league. He's like super physical with guys. Yeah, I love Yang Hansen.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a cheeky pick, but like also like looking at the board, it's like there's not like a ton of guys I would want over him. Like I'm not taking like Jeremiah Fears or like Colin Murray Boyles over him. Like spoiled on my takes, but like I was like these guys don't look very good at all.
Yeah,
So like there's really only like a couple people I think I would take over Yang. I don't know if I'd have him here, but like I think I would have him top 10 like for sure.
there does, yeah. For me, I think obviously Coop, obvious number one. I think the number two's obvious, the three's obvious, and then there is kind of a drop off where it got tricky for me, like anywhere after that point, to be honest. But yeah, no, I think he has all the measurements, the stats to back it up, and the summer league, I thought he looked pretty good. So I'm so hyped for Yang Hansen.
Yeah, yeah. Like looking at my mini list, I've got him at like 8, so like not too bad.
Okay,
Some
like
of some of that's because like I don't know a ton about like the end of lottery guys, so I was like, I don't know. I know this guy. Like I thought he looked pretty good. Like let me just put him there for fun. You know, if I spend more time, like would he still be there? I don't know. Maybe he would though. I don't know. I thought he was interesting. So no, I think 4 is okay. I think it's cheeky. Plus you've done your research, so I'm with that. Plus it's a great thumbnail. He has to be
yeah.
the thumbnail.
Oh, he probably will be the thumbnail. I haven't seen it yet, but
Top
yeah.
5 pick.
Just kind of a side note because he reminds me a little bit of Sangoon without like the craftiness or whatever.
That's a
But
good take.
Sangoon, I look back at his stats and plugged him in. Sangoon was like ridiculous. He was the MVP of the Turkish league at like I think 18 years old. He was like 19
Mhm.
heading into the league. So a better league than Yang Hansen, obviously. Way better statistically. Like just another guy. I'm just like, how did people miss this? Like playing in the
We
Turkish
were all over it. We were all over Şengün from day one.
by the summer league, we were, yeah, but like I don't know how he slipped. Yeah, even looking back, like if you dominate a pro-European league, that's insanely impressive. Like even Doncic was the MVP of the best team in Europe. For him to go three is kind of wild, but alas.
Yeah. I think Yang will be a good litmus test for like where do we draw the line?
Okay.
Like which league is like the line in the sand here? So it's like Euro League, if you're great there, you're gonna be great here. Turkish League, if you're the best guy there, you'll be great here. Chinese League,
Chinese
let's
league is
see. Let's
different.
see. It is. So like that's why this is kind of a good litmus test to be like, okay, like we'll kind of see with Yang here.
And we're gonna with some of these other prospects, I'm gonna talk about the teams they're on in Europe, and there's definitely tiers within Europe too, where like if your team played in the Euro League, that is way more impressive than if you're kind of a second tier team playing in the Euro Cup. And then there are like pretty mid European teams. So anyway, that could be a good
That's fair.
transition to my fifth overall. Or who did you have fourth out of curiosity?
Uh, Harper.
Okay, maybe go. Who did you have second?
Seconds Bailey. I
Uh,
will say every draft, I think I've got like one guy who I'm like, this is my guy. I think he's criminally underrated. This guy's gonna be a star. Pans out a lot of the time. Usually I'm right with this pick. This year's Tre Johnson. I think Tre Johnson is like incredible.
mm,
I literally watch this guy play and I'm like, yep, this is just like a two-way big wing, arguably the best shooter in this year's draft, like shoots the lights out, super crafty. Needs to work on his passing and playmaking for sure. But yeah, I think he's just going to walk into the league and just be like an absolutely, maybe not like elite scorer right away, but I think it's coming. I think he's got all the opportunity in the world for Washington. So
well,
I've got my eye on him. I'm like sneaky rookie of the year pick right there. I love him. He was super good in the summer league too. Like he's just awesome.
he was insane in summer league, and yeah, I would pencil him in as top three rookie of the year, as you said, with all the opportunity there in Washington. Um,
Where did
the,
you have him then, dude?
I had him sixth,
Okay,
so I have a mystery five, but I'm down to talk a bit about Tre Johnson.
let's do it. Let's do it.
We do have 3 minutes left, but maybe we can.
I think that'll be enough.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, like his per 30 was 17 points in college. So that's like good. And he's a freshman, but it's not like eye-popping. And the usage was pretty high, insanely efficient. You look at the highlights and it's kind of Steph Curry-esque, where he just no matter the shot, he's shooting from anywhere and everywhere. He doesn't have to necessarily set his feet. He's just like the purest of shooter that there is. But I think I question his defense, the playmaking. I think a lot of possessions just kind of end with him, and maybe that's a good thing because he's highly efficient. But um, yeah, for me, he was sixth, and he could have maybe even been seventh or eighth. Um, I put him sixth because tons of people flamed me in the Reddit, but also
Hmm.
I knew how you felt about him, and I value your opinion. So.
Yeah, yeah. He's also a Texas guy, so
Hmm.
shout out to Texas, where I'll be moving soon enough. And
These
I,
are
and I think that also might be a part of it why his usage rate's like maybe a little bit lower there because it's not like Rutgers where it's like they're just like all right like for the first time in forever we've got two studs feed them the whole time like Texas is like a super legit basketball program every year so it's like Tre Johnson you're amazing but like you're a freshman like we've got a bunch of seniors on this team we're gonna be feeding and I think you're right like I mentioned his passing not great I'm totally fine with that I'm like this guy's just like an elite shooter with awesome size totally fine if he's never a good passer the hope is he could at least be serviceable on defense, maybe even good, judging by his physical tools. Like my hope is he can learn the defensive end. That's definitely where he'd need to like grow the most to get where I want him to go. But I think it's possible. And I'm just like in love with shooters. Like when I see somebody who shoots the lights out and like the stroke looks as good as it is and they can shoot off platform and do all like the fancy things off the catch, like I love those guys. I feel like they're always criminally underrated in the draft because it's just pretty much the most important thing in the league now. All people want to do now is shoot threes. So I'm like, if you shoot well and you're big and I think you can play defense as well, like I'm taking you.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, for me, he kind of has, the skinny profile. I mean, he's 6'6", but he's, I don't know if he has the makings of a great defender, and he kind of just has like the, I don't know, I kind of see him as just kind of that pure scorer, kind of doesn't do much else, and like, I don't know, but the efficiency is so good, but I do wonder if that can be a negative for a team in
I
terms
feel
of
like
system,
yeah,
movement, that kind of stuff.
I feel like that stuff is more of a concern at the guard position because at the guard position you really need to have those like playmaking skills. You want to be a Cam Thomas and essentially have the possession like start and die with you.
Careful, man.
But if I know right, about to get aggregated like Zach Lowe. Um, but if you're a small forward and your job kind of is to be like that catch and shoot guy, like that's fine.
All right, send me a new link. I think we have a few more things to say about Tre Johnson, but.
Okay, okay, let's do it. We'll catch you all in part two. Stay tuned.
All
All
right.
right, Tre Johnson continued. That was kind of the end of my take where I was like, I'm okay with his shortcoming being that like possessions may end with him because I'm like, if 10, 15 seconds go by on the shot clock and he's got a good look, I'm like, that's fine. I want him taking it. So fine with that. I think the defense is like the biggest concern. Um, but like I said, kind of my hopes is that he can just not be a liability. And it helps that he's like 6'5", 6'6", because he can only be so much of a liability at that size. He's not like a 6'1" guard who's like an absolute disaster on the defensive end, at least.
Fair enough. No, the shot making is ridiculous. The efficiency is ridiculous. Just the fact that he can stand way beyond the arc and pull it confidently, I think is going to do wonders for spacing for any team. Um, yeah, I do wonder how high the ceiling is, and kind of yeah, in the age of wings and just being long and I don't know. I do wonder how he'll fare, but looked great in the summer league.
Definitely. I think it's an encouraging sign.
Damn, my throat is dry. Um, all right, my
Let's
fifth
see.
pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who do you have above him then? So you've got Yang, and then you've got Tre Johnson. Did you say he's six for you?
Yeah, Tre Johnson would be
Yeah.
six.
Reddit bullied you from moving him from 7 to 6. So then your fifth pick is,
Yeah, I don't think you're even gonna know which player this is. It's Noah Essengue.
oh, this guy sucks.
No, he does not.
You just put him there because he's French.
Maybe. No, I love this kid. He's like, I think only 18 and a half years old. Playing in a on a good European team, a Euro Cup level, so not Euro League level, but still a very competitive team. He played at Ulm, which is a German team, and he was awesome. I don't know what you're talking about. I get that the highlights don't like
Dude, he got dunked on so bad in summer league that it's just over. It's over now. There's no coming back from that. And already, like people were shitting on his aura because his draft night fit was bad. He just looked bad. He skipped out on like the finals for whatever they were doing in Europe to
oh
go to the draft, and people were like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? You're abandoning your team in the finals to be at the draft. Like you don't have to be there. You're gonna get drafted anyway." Um, so that rubbed me the wrong way. And then yeah, he got dunked on so badly, like literally like the worst thing I've seen in years.
that's
So although I think his highlights are good, like I'm out. I'm out.
those are compelling points. I kind of didn't connect that he was the guy that abandoned his team. And yeah, I think it was in the finals.
It was.
But I don't know. Let's go over his numbers real quick. Let's see if I can find him. But yeah, his numbers. Well, first of all, the guy is he's 18 and a half as of like today, basically. 18.66 to be exact. I got my shit updated on the day. And then let's see, per 36, sorry, per 30, averaging 14 points. This doesn't sound great, actually. 1.6 assists, six and a half rebounds, over a steal, not quite a block.
For
Yeah,
his age, that's fine though. Like even though he's playing like a very competitive league.
right. It's the fact that it's in a league that I think is without a doubt better than even the best college teams. He's playing better competition. And he's putting up productive stat lines. He has a role within his team, and I think he plays super well. Um, he looked awesome in summer league, despite the moment that Australian.
Everyone's everyone's only seen one highlight of this guy. Or I guess low light. It's the only clip anyone's seen though.
But he played really well. He's kind of a little bit of Pascal Siakam, maybe with a bit less handle. His game is maybe a bit more simple. He's very like catch and shoot, hustle plays, timely cuts, but he can drive from the perimeter and just kind of absorb contact. Um, I don't know, he's just kind of the quintessential forward. I think he's going to be just a really quality borderline all-star level player at best.
Yeah, I watched some of his summer league highlights. I thought he looked good. I think he looked like a nice player, and like as far as like where the Bulls took him, which I think they took him 12th.
12th, yeah.
I thought that was a nice spot. It's kind of at the end of the lottery. You're looking for these nice players, probably not gonna be stars. You're hoping this can be like a really good role player for you. Like ideally, you're starting small forward or power forward for the next 5 to 10 years, something like that. I think that's like a niche he can fill. Like I think he's like when I was watching his highlights, I'm like, I feel like this guy can do like the Jaden McDaniels role for the Timberwolves. Just be this like 3-and-D guy. The jump shot looks like pretty good. Like everything was swishing, so like that's a good sign. I forget exactly what his percentages were, but like the shot looked good. He did look like pretty like smooth around the rim. He's got a nice touch there.
Shot
Doesn't
about
look super athletic by any means. But I think that's okay. Like he looks like kind of like nifty and crafty. So I think he looks good. I just don't like see any like all-star potential in him. I see him as like nice starter as his ceiling. I think he's like a low ceiling, high floor kind of guy is how I view him, which is why I kind of like him in that like around like the 10 spot.
Yeah, I think maybe a problem with my analysis is I don't take much into account like star potential or like a lot of it is kind of just based on the stats they had last season. And so I agree. I think I see him as like an amazing role player. I think I could see him getting to a borderline all-star. I think one of the main things about him is he's like 18 and a half years old as of today. And he was playing really well in a really good league at basically 17, 18 years old. Like he is a year younger than Tre Johnson. And I think arguably the stats are pretty comparable. They fill very different positions and needs for their teams, but um, yeah, no, I think he was awesome. And I would agree that Tre Johnson probably has a higher ceiling, but I think Noah Song would be the safer bet. And I think that's kind of what my analysis and kind of, yeah, it kind of favored that and maybe to a detriment or that might be a fault in the way I did things. But
Yeah, because I wouldn't necessarily disagree. Like I think you're probably right that um, Noah Essengue, something like
yeah,
that. It's a little too French for me. I know how it's spelled, but I think you're right there. He's kind of like this like high floor, probably lower ceiling than Tre Johnson. Tre Johnson, just off the eyeball test, I'm like definitely higher ceiling. But obviously there's like the defensive concerns that you don't have with Noah. So I do think there's probably more variation for the final player that Tre Johnson is going to be. I will take that big swing all day. I would as a GM,
yeah,
especially like that high in the draft. But like, I totally like see where you're coming from, and very well, and it could end up being correct. We'll kind of see with that one.
yeah. I've said it before, but for me, the age and the productivity in the difficulty of the league for me is like, okay, that's really telling. It's not on the level that we've seen with like, the Senguns, the Doncic's, but it's like it's the next thing. It's like not as good of a league, but good production. He's not dominating the league, but it's a good team. If they make the Euro Cup, it means I think they're kind of in the 3 to 5 range within their domestic league. So
Yeah, yeah. Also reiterating, this guy did give me the ick big time though. That's also a factor. Um,
yeah, there's something about the French in the NBA. They don't get a great
yeah,
reputation, kind of on the
we,
world stage in general. But
for sure. I think Wemby is starting to change the narrative a little bit for the French, so that's great for y'all. We have some big followers right now. Are they coming up anytime soon? Who do you have next? Because notably, and we don't have to talk about them yet, but we definitely have Kon Knuepplel falling pretty far, and same with
yeah,
Edgecombe, who were that's 3 and 4 in the draft right there.
yeah, because Yang I think was bumped 12 spots on my board. Noah bumped about 7. Tre Johnson was picked sixth. I would have had him sixth. At 7, I would go Colin Murray Boyles. Um,
I hate him.
yeah, I kind of hated him at first too, upon first glance.
I I kind of like I see the vibe. Like the vibe I got off the highlights is like maybe we're getting like kind of like a Draymond guy. He's like 6'7",
Yes.
plays physical, gets blocks, offense is dog shit, but kind of like decent passer from the post. So like maybe there's something there. I couldn't totally buy into it, but like I do see the vision a little bit.
Yeah, I also kind of came up with the Draymond comparison. Obviously, the passing not being nearly as good. I think the defense really does have a potential to be comparable. I mean, this guy has insanely good hands. I think he can guard 1 through 5. And I don't know. I think the offense is actually. Kind of not horrible. I think he averages like 16, maybe nearly 17 points, 16 and a half points per 30 minutes. That is as a sophomore, but kind of on the younger end of sophomore. I think he's like about 20 years old. Gets you 8 rebounds, a steal and a half, nearly a block and a half. Um, the shooting, yeah, huge concern, but it's not nothing. It's he's willing to pull it every now and again, and I think that's potentially can be a serviceable three um, one day.
He will not be able to play the three ever. It's like he's got to be like I feel like he has to learn to play the five. That would be like the only way I could see him working in the league. Because that jump shot, I don't think that's ever gonna get there. Um, so just like if you can't do that, like you can't play small forward in the league. You can't play power forward either in the league now. You can only play center if you can't shoot. That's like where the league is. So it's like although I see it a little bit, I'm like it's a big gamble that like this guy's gonna be able to play center in the league right now, and I'm like I'm just not taking it there.
Fair enough, but I don't know.
He's interesting though. Like his highlights are like pretty fun to watch. I'm like
He's
very unique
explosive.
player. You know, you and like I definitely think he'll be like an awesome backup somewhere, like for sure. Um, and like if he does like hit that potential, like yep, like maybe he can be a starting center. If he learns to shoot, then like forget about it. He can probably do anything at that point. But yeah, I do have my concern there. But like he's a super interesting player. Like he feels like he's just like scrappy, plays hard, really good defender. Any team would want to have him. He's one of those players where it's like any team wants him. He would play on any team. The question is like, how much is he playing for a team?
Yeah, he's kind of like a 6'8" version of Marcus Smart, I think,
A
is
little
a
bit, a little bit.
interesting comparison. Um, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, for him to be like a starter in this league, he has to learn to play the five. I think you're right, or learn to shoot more reliably. Um, but I don't know. I do think he has like he could be an elite defender. I think like his hands are ridiculous. He gets his hands on everything, and he can really guard, I think, just about anyone. So I think, I'm just like betting on that. There are some exceptions, some not great shooters that kind of just find ways, the Thompson twins, Draymond, I guess. But he does kind of play the five, and he has kind of actually shot really well recently, but alas.
We'll see if it's legit. Regardless, he is exciting though. Like I'm very excited to like kind of see where things go for him. The Raptors is like a pretty fun landing spot for him just because like the Raptors are so bad on defense. So they could definitely like use his help right now. So I think he'll probably get a little bit of playing time there. It's gonna be like a little tough because like the front court's like a little busy with Pirtle and Barnes there. But I think he'll be able to at least like find some minutes as a backup there to start. And like we might be able to see like some interesting flashes from there and kind of see where it goes because the Raptors are at like a weird point where it's like, who knows what's gonna happen with that roster. So at some point, if he looks interesting off the bench, they may blow it up and give him a real chance.
Yeah, the Raptors are kind of a mess. Um,
They got rid of Ujiri. I feel like that was like the quietest story of like the entire offseason.
yeah,
They just gave him the fucking boot after being like everybody wanted him after they won the finals. Then he just like made just like head scratching move after head scratching move for the last like 3 years. The roster's absolutely terrible, filled with terrible contracts, and they just got rid of him.
yeah, I think they're one of the highest paid teams. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, like the Brandon Ingram contract was insane. Nobody was paying that with this
yeah,
offseason once like the apron started kicking in. Sneaky like that quickly contract from the first day was just terrible. They're giving him like 35 million per year. And like all he'd really shown was being like a serviceable backup for New York. And he's fine. He's a fine player, but like so bad. Um,
they
yeah,
just
Pirtle's making a lot of money now.
so
Like
many
it's just the roster's such a mess.
so many people on that team, yeah. Because Grady Dick's showing flashes. I mean, Scotty Barnes is their guy, and then it's like RJ Barrett's there.
And they Barrett, and I like Barrett, but like it's just such a weird fit.
Side note, but Barrett was insane in college.
For sure, for sure. That Duke team was absurd.
Yeah, playing next to Zion, and I think he still averaged like an insane amount of points.
They also had Cam Reddish, my boy.
Crazy.
Totally thought Cam Reddish was going to work. He's one of those guys where it's like you watch the tape
Yeah,
and you're like, this is totally working. Alas.
I should have plugged Cam Reddish to see how he would have fared.
Yeah, weirdly, his efficiency was like pretty bad in college. Like there were signs, like he did drop in the draft a little bit because of that. So, not totally unforeseen, but just tragic though. His aura was insane.
Yeah. All right. So quick recap for me, I guess, is Coop, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Yang Hansen, Noah Essengue, Tre Johnson at six, and Colin Murray Boyles at seven.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not opposed to Edgecombe and Knuepplel falling, but we're starting to get to the point where I'm like, Jesus, we're taking these guys over these
We
like blue
are.
chip prospects. Um,
I,
okay. Who you got next?
who do you have out of curiosity? And by the way, Murray Boyles is the same age as Edgecombe and Knuepplel. So don't fall for the propaganda that because they're sophomore and freshman, and that does make a difference, playing in a system an extra year, but they are the same age.
Hmm. At this point, like my list is like fairly different from yours, to where it's like I'm not gonna deviate over to mine. But like, yeah, I've got like Edgecombe and like Knuepplel drafted by now, like going around this spot. I think like yeah, around like 5, 6, 7 is like their range where it's like, yeah, I'm not totally sure if they're top five guys, but um Edgecombe's just like the best athlete in the class, and I'm like, that's like pretty nifty. Like I'm willing to take a flyer on that for sure, even if he feels like a little raw at times. And then like Knuepplel, I'm like, I always feel like shooters are underrated. This year's like maybe a little overrated. Like 4 was like really high for somebody who's just gonna be a liability on defense for sure. Um, but I do like Knuepplel, and like he was awesome in summer league. Like they won the finals, so like hang the banner. That's huge for Charlotte. So I do think they're good. I think I had like Edgecombe at like 5, Knuepplel at 6, and I felt good about that. I think that's around where they should go. I'd rather have them than these other guys.
I kind of stand on my hate for them. It's not hate. I have them at 10 and 11, which I know is crazy, and I'm sure they let me know on Reddit. They'll let me know in the comments. But yeah, I didn't think their seasons justified like them getting picked so high. I mean, Knuppel, I get the efficiency is great, but like put up 14 points, I think, per 30 with no other stats. Like that's just not great production. The efficiencies, yeah, it's great, but um, it's 14 points and again,
He's also he's playing with the number one overall pick though. Like obviously, like the offense is going through. Like most of these guys are the number one option on their team. Like Knuepplel is the number two option. Like so they got to bake that in somewhere.
yeah. I mean, come on, even as the number two option, RJ Barrett put up like 20 points. I don't know.
Yeah, that team was a ridiculous shot chucking though.
Okay.
Like this Duke team like played like a little bit more of like a real offense. Knuepplel looked really good in March Madness too. Stroke is awesome. Like the eyeball test is like very much there for Knuepplel. And he's more than a shooter. Like I like his offense. He's a good passer.
Yeah.
He's not gonna like he's not like really blowing by anybody. Like he is a little bit of a stereotypical white player where he is gonna be a little bit slow. Like he might get caught on defense, but he's got like pretty good size though, because he's not like a shooting guard. He's not like Tyler Hero or like um
He's
I'm
kind of
kind of blanking on dudes right now, but like he's a little bit bigger. Like he's like a true small forward. He's like a good 6'7" with like some size and weight to him. Um, so
yeah.
I think he can hold his own like enough on defense. Like maybe he can kind of be like a Sam Hauser, and like teams will try to target him and it won't work out as well as they think. I do think he's gonna be a liability there, but I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be worth it for the upside. Like such a good shooter. Like you can never have enough shooters in this league. Just take the guy who shoots 45% from three.
I hear you. I don't think he shot 45. I think he shot closer to 40. Um,
Sure.
but yeah, no, he's kind of got more of the Dalton Connect, Desmond Bain kind of build. He hustles, he jumps on the floor, like he's got more toughness than kind of your stereotypical white shooter. But I don't know. I don't see like crazy upside. I do just see like you said, it's just like a good shooter, a guy you want on the team. He might start. He probably does have starting qualifications and will start for a team in the future, but it's kind of like that's what he is. And like I hear what you're saying, but like
Yeah, but I'm not talking about him being a superstar. I'm just talking about him being better than Colin Murray Boyles. Like, listen to his name. This guy's no aura.
TMB, bro. TMB.
No, it's like I said, like I don't think I'm taking them third and fourth. But yeah, I do think I'm taking them around 5 or 6. I'm like, yeah, I think I'd rather have them than some of these other guys. So kind of where I'm at. I'm curious to hear where you're at with Edgecombe, because like Edgecombe, at least like eyeball test wise, is like, all right, like you can see it here. It's like could this be like a Donovan Mitchell thing where you draft this freak athlete and he kind of figures out the rest later? He is intriguing and like he's 6'5", although he does look a little bit smaller on the court. I don't know. I see it. And I remember watching him at Michigan State and he was awesome there. Like he was immediately watching those games. I was like,
Baylor.
whoa, this guy is, oh, sorry, it is Baylor, similar colors. But I was like, wow, this guy is like so much more athletic than everybody else on the court right now. Like this guy is, he looks like a special athlete when he's out there. So I think that's like what's so tantalizing about him.
It is tantalizing. He does just like explode and float and like he's just one of those guys. He'll go up for a layup and it'll just be an awkward angle because he jumps so high and he's like scooping from just like behind the basket. I get it, but didn't average 14 points on Baylor. Uh, Great defender. I hear he's got a great attitude. He comes from I think a tough background. He's just like a grinder. He's from the Bahamas. But I don't care. I don't know. It's
Baylor's also a really good program. Like there's a lot of competition for touches on Baylor. But then you're
on
talking about
every
like
NBA, on every college team.
not on fucking South Carolina. South Carolina's dog shit every
Really, is
year.
there
Colin
such a
Murray
difference?
Boyles getting stats there. I don't care. They suck.
Genuinely, that's really between Baylor and USC. It's like
Nobody goes to USC. It's very rare for like South Carolina to like even make March Madness. Whereas like Baylor's always like a top four seed in March Madness. Like Baylor always has like elite seniors playing there, where it's like USC, it's like kind of a fluke for them to have a good season.
okay,
Unless it's women's basketball. Women's basketball, they're awesome.
maybe that's where I was getting confused.
And they are in a good conference, but like yeah, they're usually not very good. Maybe
Okay,
South Carolina fans will take offense to that, but like I think there's a take in there for that where it's like Baylor's always stacked with really good seniors and like South Carolina's like kind of a middling program.
fair enough. And I think that is maybe a fault in how I ranked is that I don't know the dynamics of the college programs. I did kind of the big schools like Kentucky and Duke, I gave just like a little edge to in
Mhm.
terms of I was like, okay, it might be harder for these players to get their touches. I weighed usage into all of this, and I weighed it, I think, not significantly, but the more usage they lost, I don't know, some percentage. And yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know. Edgecombe's numbers were just very, very underwhelming.
Yeah, I'm willing to buy into that. And like I forget what his exact numbers are, but like the efficiency was always like a little questionable or at least streaky. And
Yeah,
he kind of showed that in summer league too, where it's like his first summer league game, it was like he looked awesome. He like shot out of a cannon, got like 25 points, a bunch of other awesome stats, really efficient from three. Everybody was like the Sixers nailed this. And I think I had like a couple quiet games, like some decent games mixed in there, but like it was a little bit of like a mixed bag in summer league, if I remember correctly. So we'll kind of see. But like I don't know. Watching that first game of summer league, I was like, I see the potential here. I don't know if the consistency will come, but like I totally see it. So
that's.
I'm in on him. I'd take that gamble. I'd take that gamble on Edgecombe.
I think I'm taking a gamble at 11th.
All right, all right,
Yeah,
all
agreed.
right. Who's filling in the gaps then? So what you got? So what six was? Who? Give me your six, seven, eight right now. I think we've done
Tre
all of them right.
Johnson, Colin Murray Boyles, and then at eighth, I haven't revealed it yet, but it is the
All
French
right, let's hear your eight, nine. That's another
Nolan
Frenchman.
Traore.
Okay, this guy I don't know very well at all, so I'll let you cook here. Go
Yeah,
off.
I think he was picked 19th by the Nets.
Yeah, yeah. One of a million Nets picks that went down. One of them has to hit, so
Yeah,
hopefully this is the one.
that is kind of something that I'm like,
Wow.
he's
This guy
probably
averaged 2 points per game.
right.
What
And
does
they
that mean?
drafted
No.
like 3 point guards. I believe, yeah, they drafted fucking Yegor Demin above him. They picked him eighth.
Mhm.
We won't be hearing from him for a little bit on my list. And Ben
I kind of
Saraf.
like Yegor. Is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy. Um, but this Nolan Traore kid, so he played in a pro league in France. Um, not the best team, not Euro Cup level, but they were kind of mid standings, and the French league is good. Um, but like kind of I think they were maybe the fifth or sixth seed. They made the playoffs of the French league. Uh, anyway, and he was like totally the focal point of their entire team at like 18 years old. Um, he's a great passer. He's like super explosive. He's fast. Let me give you the stat breakdown of my boy Nolan. 15 and a half points, nearly 7 assists, 2 rebounds, a steal, a block, few turnovers, whatever.
Yeah, looking over that 7 assists though, as long as we got a 2-to-1 ratio there, I'm liking it.
Yeah, and that's again on a pro team, a good pro team against grown men. So I think that can't be taken for granted. I think he shot about 30%, but he's shooting a lot of these off the dribble, and I think that can get somewhere. Um, let's see here. Yeah, the free throw percentage it's about 70%. Not awesome, but 15 and 7. I mean, what do you want? In a pro
Yeah.
league at 18 years old. And I think the eyeball test looks awesome. He reminds me a bit of Tony Parker. He's like an excellent passer. He's fast as fuck. He just has these like great finishes. Um, I don't know. I think he's my biggest riser on the board. Maybe some French bias, but the numbers, I plugged in the numbers to my probably very flawed system, and he popped out towards the top. So shit, Nolan Traore, everyone. Eighth.
All right. I don't know much about him. I wish I'd seen his highlights, but I will say I feel like people gave the Nets a lot of shit for their picks where they're like, why do you need 5 picks? So many of these picks are like mid picks too. Like you're not getting like top tier stuff, but I don't know. I think there's something to taking like just like 5 dart throws in the first round. It's like you just need one of them to hit, and it's like usually there's somebody that hits around like the end of the lottery to like right outside the lottery, which is where a lot of their picks were. It was like because they what were there? It's like they're super odd picks, or it's like they had like the eighth pick. They also took this guy at 19,
19, 20,
and then it was like yeah 26, 27. I think we're missing a pick somewhere in there.
24, I think.
Um, yeah, I think they must have traded for or no, 22 they
20.
got traded to. But anyway, yeah, they kind of like a bunch of those dart throws, some a little bit later in the first, obviously, but I feel like one of them is gonna hit though. I feel like they're gonna get vindicated. I don't think they I think they probably had a strategy too. I think they probably met and they were like, hey, there's like a couple like interesting guys that we see at the end of the first round. We don't really know who's gonna hit here, but they're like, we're pretty sure that one of them will hit. So I kind of think there's something to that. I thought, and they were all like interesting throws too, where it was like, yep, they took a lot of guards, a lot of like interesting skill sets. Because like this guy was pretty interesting. Yegor, is it Yegor? The Y?
I think Yegor.
I know it's spelled with an
It's
E, but like
Igor,
yeah,
but I keep
Yegor.
trying Yegor.
I think it's Yegor. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
They took Ben
Yegor, I thought was
Simmons.
like, yeah, Yegor, I thought was interesting. It's like I didn't really know where to put him, but like obviously like his efficiency wasn't great, but his jump shot looked awesome. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure like that jump shot's gonna come along. The passing is good. The size is interesting. BYU guys. Like I thought he might hit. And then I should have looked into their later picks too, but like I don't know. I think one of them might hit. So it could be Jaeger, it could be your boy. I'm kind
We
of willing to
can
get behind it.
we can touch on it. There are other picks. I mentioned a couple of them. Obviously Yegor, and then there's Ben Saraf, who was a teammate of Noah Song in on a good German team.
Nice.
Danny Wolf and Drake Powell, I think. But uh, yeah, it'll be interesting because they might just end up like cannibalizing each other's
They
minutes a
could.
bit. Cam Thomas is there. I don't know. I the
Don't
Nets
talk
are
about
doing
Cam
like
Thomas.
the Nets are doing like a hard rebrand. They're kind of I don't know. I've seen
They
these
need it. They
videos.
need it.
They're taking themselves super seriously. Their coaching staff is like ultra professional, and I mean they need it. And
Yeah, they've had two of like the worst implosions of like good teams on paper in the last 15 years. Somehow like all the star powers come through there. They've been like just consistently the worst franchise in the league. So
yeah.
they do need the hard rebrand. I think it takes more than them acting cool. I think they need to get good players, but we'll see if this draft kind of sparks that for them.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, not to get too much into them, but they're taking on a lot of salary in this luxury tax era, and
Yeah, but they almost didn't do enough with that salary though. Like that was
they
a take I
not.
also heard where it was like there was like day one of like free agency, like they had like by far the most cap space, and they were like, "Yep, we're gonna take on Terrence Mann for a late first round pick," and everyone was like, "You
No, but
idiots!" Like,
they're not jumping the gun at the same time. I think They're gonna wait for the right player to become available and then offer him an insane contract, I think, when maybe another team won't be able to.
Well, Terrence Mann's on a contract for like the next 3 years, making like 20 million a year. Like it's like a brutal like contract that they took on for like pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think they have that cap space now. Like I don't think they can like sign anybody now because they decided to take on that contract.
I think they could. I think
They can still sign somebody, but they can't do like anyway. Yeah, we're going too deep here, but like I hated that play. But I forget which pick that netted them, but essentially, um, if it turns into a really good player, then so be it.
yeah. I don't think they have their pick maybe in 2 years from now, so they really have to get good fast. But
That is fair.
my ninth pick would have been Kasparas Jaku.
My boy, I love that guy.
Don't know how.
He absolutely ruined my March Madness bracket. I was so into him. He was kind of like my take as like sneaky guy, where I was like, this guy's like really slept on in the draft, and I was gonna have him really high. I ended up having him kind of like around 10, just for old time's sake. But he was like really bad in March Madness, like absolutely ruined my bracket. Because
Uh,
I think I was like so hot on him that like I legitimately had he played for Illinois. I had Illinois getting to like the Final Four, and they lost like super early on. And he looked horrible, and I was like so ashamed to be like so hot on this team. I still see the potential, like for sure. Like really tall, really crafty, nice like in jump shot, but like God, he was awful in March Madness. But I think that tanked his stock and allowed the Heat to take him because he was supposed to be like a top 10 pick at first.
yeah, going down to 20th blows my mind. And he's kind of a turnover machine. And like you mentioned, didn't have a great tournament, but he was one of the younger freshmen in this class. And then he's just like, yeah, 6'6", super crafty, good playmaker. Um, I think a reason he has a lot of turnovers is because he's willing to make kind of absurd passes, which is like double-edged sword maybe. Um, then yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
He's also
solid jump shot, good score, and he's 6'6". Like,
Lithuanian, notably, which is also why I was really into the Illinois team because they like sneaky had a lot of foreign players. Like their center was also from some like Eastern European country. So I was like, all right, they've got to figure it out. Like they're gonna be playing like Euro League ball and they're gonna run circles around everybody. Did not happen. But I do see the potential and like his highlights from like the regular season look really good. Same with his stats. So now I like this guy. I think he's an interesting pick. I think as a classic Heat pick to kind of like steal somebody this late. It feels like they did it last year with Khalil Ware. Kind of feels like they're doing it again, but we will see
looked great in summer league.
for sure.
Really bad first game, I think, but I was looking at his stats and uh, good stuff from Casper. So that takes me through my top 11 picks, I think, because I had
Cool.
Knuepplel and Edgecombe at 10, 11.
Anyone else you want to shout out then? Do you want to kind of rattle us down through 15? I
I
feel like
would
that's all the big
love
names.
to.
I think like most listeners at this point are like we're probably hitting the point where it's like we don't totally know everybody left. There are like some notable people still on the board, like Derik Queen, who was part of that famous Pelicans trade where they gave up an unprotected first round pick. He's still on the board. Maluach is still on the board, who was also part of that Duke team.
I
I've
can,
got one other guy who I sneaky love that's on the board. So yeah, run us through 15 or 20 or like whatever you want to do. Then I might shout out a couple of guys who I still liked.
okay. I'll kind of go through and give little notes. 12th, I would have gone with Cedric Coward.
Love him. Love him. I had him top 10. His
Looks
jump
like,
shot is so clean. It
yeah, but
looks like butter. Obviously, fell a year three player. He was like originally D3, but like awesome player. He looked so
he
good.
looks like Michael Jordan out there.
Yes, he's so good.
Um,
He's actually incredible. I love him.
I forget where he ended up playing, but it's kind of like not a great program. It's like
Let me
Eastern
see. Let's
Washington or some
see.
bullshit.
Yeah, it was Washington State. So like yes, like not very good. A part of like essentially a dissolved conference. Um, But like, I don't care. He looks really good.
Looks
And
insane.
like the fact that he went from D3 to like a very respectable program. So like that's like a pretty insane leap. And then he went 12th overall. So it's like
Yeah.
like this guy's like he went from D3 to good D1 program to 12th overall lottery pick. Like his
I
trajectory is like insane right now.
almost wanted to put him even above Edgecombe and Kon Knuepplel, but I
I
resist.
put him right after. I've got him around like 7, 8.
He passes super well. Yeah, like we mentioned, smooth as fuck, pretty good scorer, insanely efficient. He's getting like ridiculous blocks. His game is like there are no flaws that I can see. Not a super explosive guy, he's not dunking on everyone, but I think he'll be like just a great system player.
Yeah.
I mean,
This guy looks like Chris Middleton. Like that was my comp. I was like, this jump shot's just butter. He makes the right plays. He plays smart. Cannot stress how clean his jump shot is. I think it's the best looking jump shot in the entire class. Like,
yeah,
I love him. I think the reason he fell is like, you're right, Washington State, not a premier program. There's probably some questions about like, why were you even D3 to start? Like, you know, why did that happen? Why didn't people think you were better earlier? So that probably like caused him to fall. And I think I was kind of looking at projections. I think it was projected to go around 20. So he was even kind of reached on by let's see who ended up grabbing him.
Memphis.
Yeah, it was yep. Memphis got him at 11. They traded up for him actually. So I don't know, that ended up being like pretty interesting. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I think it was a fair spot for him, like right around 10. I think he's super interesting player. I love him. All right, continue your rant. I know we're running out of time here.
Yeah. Maluach, I would have taken 13th. He's super young, super raw. He's just like seems to be super strong, has the great size. He is kind of plodding slow, but he's surprisingly nimble. He kind of reminds me of Embiid in terms of just his size, where he just seems like strong and heavy and has good footwork, but
Yeah,
super
classic
raw.
just yeah, classic just like big man. He's gonna get you rebounds, he's gonna get you blocks. Probably not gonna give you a whole lot on offense, but who knows? Maybe he'll develop, maybe it won't. But feels like there's at least like a really good defensive floor with him.
Exactly. 14th, I would have taken Asa Newell, who I think was a pretty big riser on my board. He, yeah, he jumped up 9 spots. So I had him at 14, whatever 14 plus 9 is, 23, is where he went. And he's just kind of he's a great rim runner. He cuts. He's just kind of like the perfect role player. He's like this 6'11 forward. Um, Kind of reminds me of Aaron Gordon a bit. He can spot up. He shoots like 30%, but the jump shot looks good. Um, not strong enough to guard centers, but he's just like this huge guy that flies up the court and seems like just the perfect role player. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah, right around this point, like once we get to the end of the lottery, it's like, you're usually not talking about stars. You're talking about like, okay, this guy either has like interesting potential or is going to be most likely an awesome role player or like maybe a starter for your team. So sounds great. I'm sold on him. I like it.
And he looked really good in summer league. He's just like dunking on everyone. Like,
Love that.
yeah, Asa Newell, I think keep an eye on. Then at 15, I had Yegor Denim. We did touch on him. He's got great size. He's a good passer, kind of an average athlete. The shooting
Yeah.
efficiency is not great, but he was shooting well in summer league. But like, I kind of went hard on any tournament he's ever participated in, and he is like a pretty below average shooter outside of BYU. Like he played in these Adidas U18 tournaments, still shot like 30% or less. So
The jump shot looks super clean though.
it
Also one of
looks
the best
super
looking
clean.
jump shots in the class, in my opinion. I agree, like the percentage isn't there, but I was like, it looked really good though. So I see a little bit of potential there. I totally fair spot, totally a fair spot. Um, Fingers crossed though. I feel like that jump shot might come along.
Yeah, he shot like 40% in summer league. He was spotting up, shooting it. It does look good. He's a really interesting one because he's kind of just in between that guard and wing spot. And it's like if he can shoot, then he's a great wing and a wing that can play make a bit more than typical. And I think wings that play make are kind of the meta in a lot of ways. And he could really fit that super well. Oh, you're frozen. You're
Yeah, that's all right. I think we're almost about out of time anyway.
Do we do one last one? I could take 5 minutes and
Yeah. Yeah, am I back now? Am I good? Yeah, let's do
we're
let's do a final part here to wrap it up.
okay. God bless. We were talking about Yegor Demin, not Denim. Demin.
I'm always going to get that wrong. I will never get it right.
Yeah, super interesting. But yeah, again, I think we said what needs to be said. I think he averaged like 12 points per 30 at BYU, 5 assists. It's like not amazing. It looks pretty smooth, not very athletic. I don't know. I'm more.
Definitely a ceiling on him. It's like eighth did feel like a little rich. I don't hate it, like considering like the people around there. like I said, I do think the jump shot looks nice. The passing is there. The size is pretty good. So like it's interesting, but like yeah, it's like I think with the jump shot not totally being there, and obviously just like the athleticism, defense, that's gonna be a question. Um, Definitely a ceiling on him, but like I don't know, whatever. The Nets really like their dart throws this year, but yeah, I think there's a fair pick for him, like in the lottery. I think it's a good spot.
Everyone they took was just interesting in one way or another.
Completely. And like most people hated them because of it. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated.
Well, yeah, let it be known, Nolan Traore is who I think is going to be the best player. I stand on that. Future me, I might
Yep.
stupid, I'm sorry, but that's who I believe in my heart. So 16th, Jeremiah Fears is where I would have put him.
Oh yeah, I had him fall a lot too. Like he's just off my list. And granted, like I kind of went to about the end of the lottery, but yeah, so like this guy's highlights just don't look good. Summer League stats were terrible. Even worse looking in Summer League. Like yeah, he just doesn't look like he's very good at basketball.
Yeah, super interesting because he's also kind of on the younger side. I think he's not 19 yet. Um, just he attacks the rim a lot, doesn't finish super well, but he draws a lot of free throws. Um, what else do I have written here? Super high usage in college, which is interesting. I think he played for Oklahoma and
Yep.
he just got all the usage out of the gate. And he scored well. I think he scored like maybe 17 points, but just not on very good efficiency. 4 assists, but again, then the shooting numbers were not great, a bit undersized. He was a tough one for me to rank where I'm like, oh, I could see him being like pretty good, but I don't know. I think he just screams like bench player at best to me, despite his age and being young and rim pressure as a point guard I think is really important and he does that really well and he passes at a decent clip. So
Yeah. Yep. I think it's a fair analysis.
Sorber, Thomas Sorber is who I would have had at 17th.
This is just a Nora thing. I was like the name of that guy. I'm like, you just can't be good at basketball. It's not gonna happen. Sorry, dude.
Right.
Doesn't do it for me.
Played for Georgetown, I think not as good of a program, but just seems to have a lot of good backup big qualities. Kind of an underrated playmaker, doesn't shoot, but a decent touch, has a mid-range. Thomas Sorber.
It feels like a very correct pick by the Thunder. Whereas like at this point, the Thunder are purely only drafting for role players. They're like, we can't afford to pay anybody better than a role player anyway.
Yeah.
So I think this is like an obvious pick where it's like they know that they have to move Hartenstein in like a year or two. So start like taking dart throws at backup centers here and hope one of them pans out. I think this guy like looks pretty good. Like I think he could easily like fill that role. Obviously not like replacing iHeart is like a tall task, but I think this guy could definitely help them out at the center position a couple of years from now.
Yeah, he seems like a relatively high ceiling.
Yeah.
Relatively. I think sorry, I mean relatively high floor.
Yeah. He just knows what he's doing out there. Like when I watch him play, I'm like, yeah, this guy knows how to play basketball, which is like, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good. Cause like a lot of the time these centers are, cause even like Maluach, where it's like, you're a little bit raw for your age. It's like, I don't really know what to expect. Like, is this
that's
all
what
going to
it
come
is.
together? And with this guy, I'm like, I feel like it's already come together here. Like, so I do feel like it's like a pretty high floor.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. It doesn't look like he has any athleticism to unlock. He's not huge. He's kind of, a small 6'10", as stupid as that sounds, but yeah, high floor for sure. Um, I'm just gonna list him off. Jase Richardson at 18, son of Jason Richardson. Um,
Could matter.
could matter. I don't know. I loved his highlights, and it was just kind of a big thing that he came in pretty undersized at the combine. Combo guard, doesn't really play make, but like awesome scorer, awesome handle. I don't know. That kind of a personality pick. I just thought it was cool that
Yep.
Jason
Yep.
Richardson is his dad. Any super efficient and I don't know. The numbers liked him, okay. Um Derik Queen is who fell to
Whew.
19 for me.
Whew. So you would not give up an unprotected first round pick for Derik Queen? Is that what you're saying?
Not unless I had a gun to the back of my head or I was under or me or my family were under like imminent threat.
Yeah, I think that's
Don't
fair.
get it. I
That's
don't get
correct.
it with Derik Queen. He looks all right, but I don't see the hype. I know. I think maybe someone in our group chat was saying they like Derik Queen. I don't know. I don't
Could
get
have been me. I really liked him during March Madness because I was like, this guy is made for March. He's just
it.
like, you know, physical, down low center kind of guy who's going to dominate college basketball. And he was really good in March. Like Maryland had like a pretty nice run there. Um, but I was like, I don't like see him as like an NBA prospect though. I was like, I think he's undersized for the position. It's like I think he's gonna have like some similar issues that I pointed out for some other centers where it's like I just don't think you're gonna be athletic enough to really keep up.
Yeah,
So like that with being undersized is like pretty concerning. But offensively, like I do think he's like pretty interesting. Like nice back to the basket game. Like the jump shot actually looks pretty good.
takes the ball
Does
well.
seem like yeah, exactly. Like it does seem like a center that like an offense could run through, but I don't know if he's quite good enough um, to do that. This is to say I don't like him because like I did like him in college. And I would have taken him like a little bit higher. Like I think end of lottery is like appropriate, kind of like around where he went. I just like couldn't understand giving up an unprotected first round pick when you're the Pelicans and you always suck for somebody at the end of the lottery. Like I could, especially like because they had a pick sooner. I was like, if you cared that much about him, like why didn't you just draft him at 7 instead of Jeremiah Fears? Like I just like I don't get it. They literally gave up more for him than like he was valued or like Fears was valued. Like it just
Yeah.
made no sense. Um, so interesting pick, but I think I think he's an interesting player. Yeah, I think Anelotti's fine for him. I just don't understand trading a pick for him.
Looked all right in summer league. He's sneakily like 20 and a half years old, so he's kind of
Yeah,
on the older side of freshmen. Um,
yeah, and like Maryland notably like has not been like a super relevant basketball program for a little while. It was a nice resurgence, but like they do play in like a pretty easy conference.
yeah. He's kind of reminds me of Nas Reed without the really good shooting and a little bit less creative of a handle, but he's out there just taking weird shots
Right.
and looking good.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't have the Nas like build though, because like Nas is kind of like sneaky, like long and fast, a little
Yeah,
bit of athleticism too. Whereas like Derik Queen is like looks a little more stout out there.
yeah. Yeah, you have a way with words, Harry. But you're right, yeah.
Thank you.
20th, I had Ben Saraf, the Israeli teammate of Noa Essengue, who, given his age and his production, um, great size, solid passer. I think he could just be a good backup point guard. Nothing really stands out with him. Super solid. I don't know. I saw a
When are we
tick.
getting our boy? Wait, finish your thought. Finish your thought, then I have one.
I just saw a
Talk about
TikTok.
your TikTok.
He spams a crossover spin move dribble. Like it's insane how many times he used that in summer league. Somewhat effectively, but I think it's gonna get patched soon.
Yeah, that tends to happen because like Pascal Siakam had to like pretty much take the spin out of his game because just like everybody started ripping the ball from him. So that seems to be like a pretty common theme with people who like the spin move too much. I was gonna say, where's our boy Hugo Gonzales? Come on, I had him like top 5 pick potentially. Come on,
Yeah,
superstar written all over him.
I do
I
like
hope at
Hugo. I
least.
think I would have taken him like 23rd.
Yeah,
He's interesting, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nothing. There's no data to back it up.
certainly not. There's zero data on this guy.
Huge hands.
Um,
How can his hands be so big?
I did not look into his hand stats. I didn't get that far. Maybe I should have though.
I,
People do say though that people with big hands like it makes it more difficult to shoot a basketball because it
yeah,
just doesn't sit in your hand quite as well. So that could be concerning
I might just be bullshitting, but I think he might have like the biggest hands ever.
ever.
That
I
sounds
believe you.
ridiculous.
We'll say it's a fact. We'll say it's a
Doesn't
fact.
look like he has huge hands, but whatever. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah. But
Where
anyway, he's
does
gonna be a superstar
Hugo
for sure.
Gonzalez have the biggest hands? Gonzalez recorded the longest hand length of any player at the combine. Maybe that was this year.
Still crazy.
Look, measured longer than Taco Fall.
Oh my God. What?
Only one player in NBA draft combine history has ever measured longer, Taco Fall.
Okay, Taco's like that's still
Taco
crazy
has it
though.
beat.
That's kind of concerning though, because I've seen Taco Fall shoot a basketball. I've seen like Shaq shoot a basketball. These are guys with like famously big hands. Little concerned, but I've seen Hugo shoot it. It looks okay when he shoots it. Doesn't look great. I don't think I'll ever be like a good shooter, but like seems like a nice hustle guy though. He seems like a Celtic at heart, so I'm with it.
Yeah. I did love what I saw from Hugo, and I wish we had a bigger sample size. But he played for Real Madrid, who is one of the best teams in Europe. I mean, they're
Yeah.
nearly
Go,
NBA
go
level.
Yeah, the only bummer is like going into the year, he was like sneakily like projected to be like a top five guy. He was like the Euro prospect going into the year, and everybody's like, this guy's about to like ball out at Real Madrid. He's got all the intangibles. He was super good, um, playing for the younger league. Like this guy's just so awesome. And I think it maybe turned out that he was just like way bigger and more athletic than everybody at the younger league because he really wasn't able to get rotation time for Real. But when he did, he was okay. He was like serviceable for them. But I do think people expected a lot more out of him. But that does make him intriguing though. I'm always intrigued by these guys who like were really high prospects and kind of fell for whatever reason because it means they had that like those like glimpses of potential that like did make people think they were better than everybody else.
Yeah, yeah. And they do like a tournament with like I don't know, kind of like the reserves of all the good clubs, I think. And he was like the MVP of that tournament, and he carried his team
All
to
right.
kind of, yeah. I mean, that's
Hang the banner. Let's go. Okay.
nobody's
Superstar confirmed.
I think a great defender, and he's one of those guys that just gets blocks everywhere on the floor. Uh, Hustle guy. He's cool, but yeah, no, I don't think I would have taken him before 20. Just wrapping up here. Will Riley is a name. I had him at 21. He's just kind of this wing, kind of decent scorer, averages, his efficiency is like very average to slightly below average. I think like a 32% three-point shooter. He's 6'8", doesn't do much else. Whatever. Could be interesting though. Played well in summer league.
All right.
And he's like 6'8", 6'9". So.
Sick.
And then at 22nd, kind of a guy I feel I need to touch on is Carter Bryant, who for the life of me, I don't understand how he went 14th, which that's not like ridiculously high, but he just seems like the next Patrick Williams of like, I don't know. The guy averaged like 6 points at Arizona. Um, Efficient three-point shooting, but the free throw
Yeah.
shooting's not there. So I think that was kind of just like, I don't know, because he didn't play many minutes. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, the Spurs drafted him, so that kind of says something maybe, but
Yeah. I mean, like, if anyone could like make one of these more like young raw prospects work, it's certainly more likely to be San Antonio than the Bulls. So we'll see. But like, yeah, I don't have a ton to report on him either. Like, he did not play a ton for Arizona. I kind of remember him being out there, but like, not really.
yeah. Summer League looked all right. I'll give him that. Nope, I lied. I said a 3 out of 10 Summer League. He looked awful, actually.
Okay. All right. Not great then. Okay, continue.
That's kind of it. Then I kind of had Hugo Gonzalez. I was like, oh, Danny Wolf
Our
is
boy.
interesting. Um, yeah, I guess to give like a negative shout out, I think Walter Clayton. I don't get the hype. He's old. He's like Shabazz Napier to me.
It's because he was insane in March Madness.
Yeah,
They just like went off, and everyone was like, "Wow, is this like the next like Jalen Brunson? Like, is he one of those guys that's just like a senior, but he's actually awesome and just like so much more talented than everybody else? Let's take him." Seems unlikely that was the case.
yeah. Joan Beringer, a Frenchman who apparently started playing basketball super late. He went 17th to the Timberwolves, had like 8 blocks in a
Hmm.
summer league game. Very interesting, but
Okay.
no stats to back.
Right, but not 17. Got it.
Right. But I don't know, it's like okay, it's interesting. He started playing basketball 2 years ago, and he seems to have insane defensive instincts, and like I guess he played soccer, so his footwork is great. Blah blah blah. I
That's
just
good.
wanted to say
Right.
his name out loud.
Cool. Okay. It's been said.
That's it, man. But I just kind of put way too much effort into this spreadsheet. ChatGPT kind of helps me figure out the formulas. I'm not much of like a data analyst guy, but I love playing and looking at data, so it's kind of fun. I guess I kind of like love to role play what you do for a living, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I do every day.
And it was fun, man. And kind of plugging in players from the past was interesting. And it kind of showed me that my data is maybe on the right track in terms of just I mean, ultimately, this is just my data is more based on
right. You're testing your model. You plug in numbers from the past to be like, okay, does this work? Test at an 100% success rate. But
It's
you
based
know,
on their last season, like, and of course, some players have worse seasons and they end up being good, and it's not as much of a projector, I think, for NBA success, but it was interesting, like, like Tatum and Paolo scored super high, but then guys like SGA, Devin Booker, who weren't as great in college, ended up scoring a bit lower.
and they were also later picks notably. So like, there's probably something to that. Like,
Yeah,
SGA and like Book were both like end of lottery picks.
yeah, I think maybe like 12 and 14 or something.
Yep.
Uh, I swear DeAndre Ayton is lying about his age, allegedly.
He does look very old. He does look very old.
There's
Might
because
be
like
tough to do, but
when I put him in the thing, it's like he's the best prospect like ever with his stats from Arizona. And then it's like, okay,
they
I
were
just
insane. His stats were, he was like, what, 20 and 12 at Arizona, like
but
something
then you add a
ridiculous.
year to his age and it's like, okay, he drops down significantly. You add another year and
Mm.
it's like, okay, this makes more sense. He's from the Bahamas, you
This
know.
is quite the conspiracy theory. Good thing nobody's listening to the podcast anymore at this point, so we can just let all of our crazy conspiracies fly.
Yeah,
Only the real NBA fans will hear them, so it's perfect. Um,
allegedly, obviously.
I don't know. Maybe he does look very old. He does look old, so maybe there's
Yeah,
something to this.
and it's happened before, guys. I think Ersan
It
Ilyasova
is.
was like some sort of like,
Yeah, I think that's the most credible of the theories. I know people also made it with Thon Maker. Not sure if that one was credible at all.
oh
I think
yeah,
I think he was just bad, but the Ersan Ilyasova one I think is like
the lore is
it's like
crazy. I
the
think
lore is insane. Like everyone check Reddit, you've not seen it because yeah, it's absurd.
yeah, I think he's like he lied about being Turkish. He's like Uzbek or
Yeah,
something.
it's like somebody of like a similar name like went missing in one European country and then was like claimed in another country and they were like essentially I think they claimed Ersan was like, oh, we never got his
Never
birth
registered.
certificate. Yeah, he was like 16. They're like, oh yeah, like we know this guy's never existed with the government before, but like he was born here. We just forgot to get his birth certificate. And then they're like, yeah, they just like gave him an age and a name, and then he was in this new country, and then he made it to the NBA. But yeah, the conspiracy theory is like, yeah, they lied about his age.
Yeah,
Could
he's
be true. Could be
he's a
made up. Sorry
decent.
for perpetuating if it's wrong, Ersan, but this is what the people are saying. Come on the podcast and tell us that we're wrong.
Yeah, speak your truth. Um, but I think he did it more out of refugee reasons than out of tricking the
Yeah, I don't.
exclusive stock reason.
Yes, yes. I don't think he was thinking that far ahead at that point. Yeah, I think it was purely more so about survival and like making sure that he was getting the best care possible.
Yeah. Shout out Urson, man.
He was awesome. I loved him. Great in 2K. Awesome to play with in 2K.
Yeah. That's kind of it, man. But plugging other people into my models just makes me think Reed Shepard's gonna be fucking awesome. Uh
That was always a lock.
Klingon also, my model, loved him.
Yeah,
Uh
there's gonna be a little bit of trouble in paradise now though with Klingon and Yang on the same team.
I love them both.
I don't know, and truly only one of them can start because they there's no power forward center going on there. That'd be
Uh,
insane. But yeah, it seems like only one of them can come out on top. So we'll see.
24 each. Man, that's it. I mean, I could run through my list again, but let's do it. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Noah Essengue, Tre Johnson, Colin Murray Boyles, Nolan Traore jumping 10 spots, Kasparas Jaku dropping 11 spots, Knuepplel Edgecombe dropping 6 and 8 spots respectively. We got Coward, Maluach, Newell, Demin, Fears, Sorber, Richardson, Queen, Saraf, Riley, Carter Bryant, etc., etc. I think it'll age okay. I don't care.
None of these ever age well. It's like the whole
Right.
the whole point about doing these is like you get a couple takes off. Some of them work and you can talk about them. Some of the takes don't work and it's fine. We just never talk about them again. We only talk about our victories on this podcast. So I think it'll work out nicely. And I think it's a fun list. I think you did good. Yeah. The worst thing you can do when doing like a redraft or a big board, as Reddit likes to say, the worst thing you do is just have it all be chalk and just be like, I totally agree with the draft order. Um, So you did good. You did good.
I love that. Yeah. In conclusion, Nolan Traore was my, and Yakachonis, those guys jumped, I think, the most. Actually, Yang Hansen and Song jumped quite a bit as well.
Yep. Yep. You love your Frenchman. The French bias is confirmed.
And then I'm cold on Knuepplel and VJ Edgecombe. There I
Yeah.
sit. I don't get it. 3 and 4 to me is a bit crazy for both of them. And 10 and 11 for me was being kind of nice. I had them lower. I'm not going to say how much lower, but 10 and 11 was being nice. I kind of, let the pressure get to me. And if they end up sucking, I will take the biggest victory laps because I don't see it.
All right. We'll see with that. We'll be waiting with bated breath. I'm sure the people on Twitter will let you know every single time that they have a good basketball game. So be ready.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm excited to see how it ages. I love seeing how takes age. We'll definitely revisit them next summer and kind of review what worked and what didn't.
That's it, man. Sign us off. You remember.
All right, wrapping up. Thank you all. This has been another episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. Peace and love.
Yeah, we say peace and love, subscribe, and all that
Oh
good stuff.
yeah, yeah. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Look for Paul's post on Reddit. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you're feeling.
You
Just give
can
us
you
those
can
interactions.
you can
Drop a comment on that too if you'd like. Dox Paul. Maybe drop his address so that people of Reddit can find him.
if
Or
if
don't. He has a new address now, but
if they were like sleuthy enough, if that's even a word, like because I did do a Reddit trade idea video. I think you could find my account and you could probably see my post history, but yeah, I'm not hiding anything. I'm not hiding anything.
all right. Well, thank you all. Peace and love. We will be doing more podcasts this year, so stay tuned. We'll
Maybe.
come out with something soon. We will. It's happening.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.